So hello everyone, finally we are making this video on this topic. So this video is going to be totally in English language. So I hope everyone gets clarity about it. Now moving on to the apologies. I am really sorry that I didn't post the video on this particular topic from a really long time. I posted this shorts like 1 year back and I have got like more than 1 lakh views over it. And I have got a lot of different people from different regions of India asking me a lot of questions like how did you pursue this career, what is your salary, where is your office, this, that, and a lot of different career related questions. So I wanted to answer every questions, but I couldn't. So you guys have been contacting me on my Instagram, on my Gmail, also on my YouTube comments, and like questions have been flooding here and there in a lot of different ways. So I wanted to answer this by making a quick roadmap and also addressing all your questions, all your queries. So let's get straight into the video. So I won't be addressing each and every question in this video. I have categorized the questions in different pools and different groups so that each and every question gets indirectly addressed. So starting up with the first part is what is the criteria, let's say eligibility, or you can say what is the career path for this particular domain. So business analytics is not only business analytics, it falls in a tree structure. So imagine it in a way that data science is the parent for everything, and also data engineering, which comes in a different way. We'll just skip the data engineering part. I just gave it a context to you. So data science, and then under data science you have two different mainstreams, that is business analytics and data analytics. Apart from that, you have different other analytics going on, like there is forecasting, and then there is quality analytics, and then different types of analytics. I have not gone deep into that topics, so I'll be covering mainly about business analysis in this video. So the career, or let's say the eligibility for this, is absolutely nothing. If you find yourself that you can really solve business problems, you're very interested in how to understand the client's business, talk to the stakeholders, your communication is really good, you want to get into documentation and every other part that is related to business analytics, if you are really keen about it, then best thing, business analytics is made for you. And if you are very much into doing computer stuff, not really much into communicating with the stakeholder as compared to business analytics, or not mainly into documentation, so if you're not wanting to go very much from on the front end part and you want to stay at the back end doing the computer work, like mainly as I said the data analytics part, you are meant to be a data analyst. But there is a very thin line between data analyst and business analyst, is that business analysts are meant to be very on the front end. They play with the stakeholders, they make the communication really well, so that if the project is getting delayed, or if there is a bridge which has to be maintained between the developers and the stakeholders, business analysts make sure that they are standing in between. But data analysts are not someone like that. Data analysts are responsible to get the data and then work on it, play around the data, present it in front of the management, and guide the management, tell them what needs to be done, which next decision will impact their business in a profitable way. So all those things is related to data analyst. So my communication skills has been developed since I was working in a sales background. So now talking about my past, I have been completing my BMS in marketing, so business management studies I've done. It's a 3 years of course, and in the second year it was COVID. So once the COVID was down, I started working alongside with my studies. So initially I started to work into proper sales, so it was hardcore sales. I've done B2B and B2C sales for around like 3.5 years, both in edtech, and also I have done in food franchisee company. So yeah, covering B2C and B2B. So from that experience, what I have learned is how to talk to a client, how to manage the communication, or let's say when I say manage the communication, it means like if something is not going well, or if there is some sloppy thing which has to be covered, so you have to understand what needs to be spoken to the client so that he understands what exactly is going on, that is manageable. So exactly, you're not showing the client that ye cheez kharab ho gaya or this is not working well, so you're managing everything in front of the client and making the client come into the good books. So all these things you have to make sure. And I completed my sales like 3.5 years, and suddenly I got an opportunity in a cybersecurity organization where I started working as a business analyst. Now that was a very newbie, or let's say a very fresh experience for me. So I learned a lot from that cybersecurity company, and I'm really glad that those guys called me. Now how exactly I got opportunity in that cybersecurity company, getting into that zone. So I didn't purposely applied for a business analyst role. Before applying, I'll tell you a story. I did my friends course basically. So he had a course bought for 80,000 rupees, and he didn't pursue it, but I got the recordings of that particular courses. So I watched as much as recorded videos as possible. I got a gist of what is business analytics, what is Excel, advanced Excel, SQL, Python, machine learning, RDBMS, and all those tech related terms. So I was only familiar with the terms. I was not familiar in depth with how exactly things are operated. So after that, I got a call from this particular cybersecurity company. They asked me about my portfolio, and I'm really glad to the HR that she went through my portfolio. So she asked me like, I see that you're not fit for a full stack developer role. So I applied for a full stack developer role. I was a total maniac. I was just applying here and there everywhere, as I was addicted to get into IT sector. So that HR particularly called me and she asked me like, you have applied for a full stack developer role, but I see that you are not fit for this, but I also have another opening for which you might be a perfect fit. So they wanted a business analyst who was a fresher but also had a sales experience. So I was a perfect match for that. So I went there. I worked for like 8 or 10 months, and then I came to Chennai, where I got a proper business analyst opportunity, and there I worked as a full-fledged business analyst, talking to the stakeholder, understanding their problems, problem solving skills, putting it into the ERP system. So you have to map their business into the ERP system. Now if you want to know about ERP in a very short or concise manner, ERP is something which acts like a nervous system of a particular business. So to record each and every data of a business, you need a system, and this system is particularly called ERP. So ERP is enterprise resource planning, where there are tons of different of things, like you can track accounting, sales, buying, stock, your inventory, and much more things that are available in ERP. ERP is like a big ocean under which you have small pools which are called like business modules. So selling is one of it, buying is one of it. So if you're really interested about ERP, go study about it. There are a lot of different companies who are hiring business analysts in ERP sectors, and there is a really good scope in ERP when it comes to business analytics. So yeah, that is pretty it. Now moving forward to the next topic, what are the skills that are required to become a business analyst? So initially you don't require much of a technical skill to become a business analyst, but to full secure proof your career, I would suggest do a proper course from, let's say, Upgrade or any other course platform. Right now I am doing a course from Upgrade, and yes, this is not a sponsored video. I trust Upgrade really well because I was personally working in edtech sectors as a business consultant. So I know how exactly course platforms work. So they just sell you a course for the sake of selling it. So make sure that you're buying a course from a premium platform. Even if you're paying like 10 or 20,000 more, that is totally fine, but make sure it is reliable. So I am learning right now data science totally. So where I am learning Python, SQL, RDBMS, all those technical terms which are required to become a full stack data scientist, or let's say a data analyst. So my core focus is to get into data analyst right now, because business analytics is something where you have to understand the problems of the business, but for that you need a lot of learning, dedication, and hard work, because every time you try to understand the business, it comes up with a new revolutionary problem. So it's like very irritating also at the same time, because every time you fail and you have to get ready, you have to learn from that failure. And when you go to a new business, obviously when you're comparing two different businesses, both are not necessarily to be same. It might be similar, but it doesn't be same. So business analytics is somewhere like a very where you need an attitude of a warrior. So you have to be very hardworking, you have to understand different types of businesses, and once you're getting used to it, it is going to be a piece of cake. But for me, it was really struggling at the initial stages, but now I can say like I've been coping up with it, and I have come to a neutral stage right now. But my core focus is to get into data analytics, where I'm learning all the technicalities, technical stuff. So yeah, that is pretty it. Now what exactly do you need to become a business analyst? So firstly, your communication has to be really good. If you have multilingual communication, like if you can speak in different languages, for me I can speak in Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, and English, which is really fluent. So if you have advantages like this where you can speak in different languages, that is a plus. Third thing is you have to understand the business really well. Now when I say understanding the business, it just doesn't mean you want to understand the business in terms of what they are buying and what they are selling. You have to understand the nitty-gritties of the business. So what exactly is the procurement process, what is the order to cash process, which is basically, apart from that, then you have the HR and payroll process, what exactly is happening internally in their organization, and if they're following any GST compliances, if they're following any other laws. So all those things you have to know it really well. I mean, not 100%, because if you get into learning 100% of it, you might become an auditor, or you might become someone who is working in that particular niche. But you have to understand it in a very well manner, that you are consulting your client. So that is how the skill has to work in business analytics. Apart from that, you also should be familiar with Python, you have to be familiar with SQL, you have to be familiar with Power BI or Tableau, Microsoft Excel, and the whole package of Microsoft is really important, because when you're working as a business analyst, you need to understand what your client is giving to you in a functional manner, and when you're delivering it to your internal team, like let's say your developers or let's say your quality team, you have to make sure you're documenting it. And when documenting comes into place, Microsoft plays a really big role, because you have to make it on Word, or let's say you have to make it on Excel. So you have to be well versed with that. You don't spend like 7 hours on it. Like 1 hour or 2 hours is the max time that companies will give you, or you have to finish it as quickly as possible. So efficiency is the key. So make sure if you're applying for a business analyst role, you are very well versed with the Microsoft package. And apart from that, your communication, as I said, problem solving skills, critical thinking, business understanding, these are some of the functional terms that you require. Now technicality is something, Python, SQL, as I said, all those technical things you have to be 30-40% well versed, not 100%, because if you're working with your developers or quality analysts, so you have to make sure that whatever coding that they're doing, you should be able to oversee it. So if there is any issue, or if there is any problem, you should be capable enough to understand what the problem is. I'm not asking you to go down and solve that problem as a debugger or someone, but you have to understand what exactly the problem is. You should not be like very blunt that I don't know. You can't say that. Being a business analyst is something who handles each and everything when it comes to getting the project from a client until delivering it. So make sure that is the part that you're taking care of. Now, since we have got into understanding what roles have to be played when becoming a business analyst, let's get into the daily work of how exactly business analyst routine is. So initially, assuming you're getting a project, you have to talk to the stakeholder, you have to maintain good follow-ups with them. And once you've got the project in, if you're not a part of a pre-sales team and you work only with the core developers, then that is a different part of business analyst. For me, what I've seen is a business analyst who is working with a pre-sales team and also working with the whole developer QA team, managing the whole project. Now this comes in a picture where you're working in a very senior position, but when you're beginning as your journey in a business analyst, then the company will want you to work either in pre-sales, or they would want you to work either in the delivering part of the project. So if you're working in the delivery part of the project, you have to work with a lot of different documentations. Business analyst is equal to documentation, is what I would say, because for me it's like a big headache. Like you have to create a lot of different things. There are a lot of different technical terms that you have to understand. BRD, RFP, so all these technical terms are the names of the documents. So BRD stands for business requirement document, RFP stands for request for proposal. So all these things come from the client, and you have to understand it, interpret it, modify it, rearrange it, organize it, and then you have to send it to your developers or your internal team, or you have to fill it back and then send back to your client again. So sometimes you also have to sign an NDA. So what is an NDA? NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. I'm sorry. So once you sign the agreement of NDA, you should not disclose any information given by your client to any other people. So that is a law that you are going to abide if you do that. So there are different kind of documentation, so make sure you're going through every one of it. I'll try to put it in the description as much as I know. So that is pretty it. Like documentation is the major chunk of a business analyst. Communication is something where you have to maintain effective and healthy communication. Rapport is something which is really good. So if you're going out with your stakeholders for a dinner, or let's say you are going out with them for drinks, so make sure that you're building a really good rapport, so that you understand what the internal politics is of their company, of the client, and how exactly that can benefit your company in terms of getting more work from them. So all these things matter a lot. If you're good at street smart things, then definitely that will be a key thing for you becoming a business analyst. Now moving forward to what technical work you might be having in business analytics. So not very highly you will be used as a technical person, like sitting down and coding, or let's say debugging stuff, or connecting to different databases with SQL or any other Power BI stuff. till now I have not been working with all those things, and I think that is the main reason why my salary is at a very average level. So that is something you have to take care of, that if you are very well versed with technicality, your salary will be at a really good stage. But if you're not, you are only with a functional level, then your salaries will be on an average. Now since we are talking about salaries, let's get into what is the initial package that you'll be getting as a business analyst. So initially you can expect somewhere between like 3.6 LPA till a max of like 6 to 8 LPA. Now that depends upon company to company. I have also seen people getting 12 to 13 LPAs, but that totally depends on which college you're doing your degree from, if you're getting placements, campus placements, how good you are with your knowledge, or if you have any other past experience. But if you're totally a fresher and looking to enter into business analytics just by learning from a course or something like that, you can expect this range between 3 to 6 LPA to a max of like 6 to 8 LPA. Now moving forward, if you also are a good technical person and you want to get into data science or data analytics, you can expect a package somewhere between like 4 to 5 LPA till a max of 12 or 24 LPA as well. I've seen like few of my friends getting 20 to 24 LPA in companies like Deloitte or let's say L&T, such big companies as well. So you have to make sure that the course that you're pursuing, you're doing it really well, you're learning everything, you're getting certified, you're getting prepared for interviews and all those things. Now one more thing I wanted to cover in this video is going to be the market condition right now. So just like stock market, there is something called as job market as well. So in the world of job market right now, the jobs in IT sectors are going in a very downscaling phase. So if you're looking to get a job, make sure that you already have a job or you're doing an internship. Don't be in a a dilemma that you'll be getting job like this. It's not going to work that way. 4 months the company will put you on wait, and even after that the company is not going to select you. That is the condition right now. So the current market is really tight, so make sure that you're getting chosen from a pool of different candidates. You're having that caliber, that potential and that knowledge to get selected for the particular position. And also for business analytics, it's not very easy to get an entry level job. For me, the first job at a cybersecurity organization was completely a fluke or a luck, you can say. The second opportunity I got as a proper business analyst in Chennai, it was at my friend's company, so I was referenced there. Talking about references is something which you have to really put into your pocket, because you have to have good connections, good people who can refer you in different companies. So you have to make sure that your contact is widespread. Now moving forward towards what career, a lot of people have been asking me if I'm in MBA or if I'm doing any other course. I'm in economics, I'm doing my humanities studies or something, like weird questions. So if you're in different course or if you're into different line, it doesn't totally matter when you're coming into business analytics. All you have to do is do a proper course from a reputed course platform, and then you have to get into that. So that is as simple as it is. There is no special eligibility or criteria required to become a business analyst. So you have to make sure that whatever you're learning from that course platform, make sure you're doing it with 200% efficiency. And while the time of interviews, you also have to make sure that you're not relying totally on that platform. You also have to pull your legs up and you have to apply here and there, as I did in that cybersecurity company for a full stack developer without even having 1% knowledge. So you have to go crazy, you have to think out of the box. So that is how things work when you're applying in a market which is in a downscale right now. And when it comes to data science as a domain right now, it is at peak, but also it is at down. How do I explain this? Is because it is in peak since the past 4 years. Since COVID hit, data science and data analytics are at peak, but also right now it is in demand. But for the demand, the supply is too much right now. A lot of people have been transitioning their career from, let's say, civil engineering or let's say electrical engineering or any other department to data science. The supply is very much, so getting shortlisted from the huge pool of students is going to be a challenge. So you have to make sure that whatever you are learning, make sure that is really good, efficient, and you're applying it in the right place. So finally, let's conclude this video with the final topic, like how exactly my life is going on as a business analyst. So as I said, I am really not satisfied with whatever I'm getting paid right now. I mean, it is on a average scale, it is okay, or let's say a little more than the average, that is okay. But to beat the inflation, or let's say like pursuing my goals and stuff, for me it is not enough, so I need to upscale myself. So that is the reason I'm pursuing data science course from upgrad, and it is going on from the past 3 to 4 months, and I'm fully focused on that. So make sure if you also want to pursue a career in business analytics, data analytics, or data science, make sure you're doing it from a really reputed course platform and you're giving your 200% in the efficiency while you're learning it. Now coming to the tips or some advices that I would like to give you guys. Now this is also one of the questions that I've been repeatedly getting asked from a lot of my viewers, so that is the reason I wanted to cover this as the last part of the video. So for some tips and advices I would give, the first thing is, if you're having someone who is already running your family, then you have to make sure that you're investing your money in a proper platform and you're getting the proper output out of it, because having someone to support in your family is a very big advantage. You get the time particularly to dedicate in your studies and also to focus on your career. Now also, if you're a working professional already, you want to contribute to something and still you want to study and upscale yourself, that is a big challenge than the previous one. So make sure you're allocating your time properly. If you're into like gaming, or let's say sports, or a gym, or any other activities, I would say for that particular period of time, if you can manage, that is totally good. But your energy is also something which has to be allocated very in a proper manner. So if you're cutting your gym, or let's say if you're cutting your hobbies or anything, I mean, gym is good, like exercise is good, you should have your mental and physical health active. But when it comes to other activities which you think is going to be a waste of time, then make sure to cut it off and focus totally in your studies, because this particular 6 to 8 to 10 months is going to define your whole life. So choose your career path wisely. And that is pretty it, guys. I mean, I've covered almost into this particular video, and if you have any queries or any feedback or anything that you want to drop down, you can always reach out to my Instagram, or wherever. You have all the things that you can reach out to in my channel and YouTube, so make sure that you make use of it. And lastly, I wanted to thank all of you guys for subscribing my channel. I am not that active on YouTube right now, but I will make sure that I'm coming back and I'm posting regular videos on what's happening in the world right now. So drop down in the comments if you have anything to say, like if you have any new ideas that I want to cover, or if you say that this is working good, I should pursue that. So let's get into it. And that's it for the video, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe it. If you want to tell me something, comment it. And if you want to reach out to me, you have all the credentials available on my Instagram or my YouTube channel. So let's see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.